A horror film is one that seeks to incite fear or disgust in its audience for entertainment purposes. Horror films additionally aim to invoke viewers' nightmares, revolutions, and terror of the unknown. Plots within the horror genre often involve the intrusion of an evil force, event, or persona into the everyday world. Slasher, psychological, and based on true stories are some of the most popular horror films. Supernatural horror film is a film genre that combines aspects of horror and supernatural. Supernatural occurs in such films often include ghosts and demons, and many supernatural horror films have elements of religion. Common themes in the genre are the afterlife, the devil, and demonic possession. Some supernatural horror films focus on more vivid and gruesome violence.
My favorite horror movie is Ouija, Origin of Evil, and it's because it's such a psychological thing, because the horror is set in their home where you're supposed to feel safe, and literally everything around them is trying to kill them, and it just gets in your head, and it's trippy, but it's really good. Okay, so because there's this scene where the girl who's possessed is behind one of the characters, and he's examining a wall, and in the background it's so subtle because she's in the background and it's a focus shot on him, and you can just see her head twitching and spinning, and you can see her teeth like all distorted, and it's terrifying, but it was such an iconic shot. What scared me in general was the fact that it was a Ouija board, and that is something that you can buy at any game board store or bookstores, and the fact that they are at your disposal and they could The art of surprise. Always the art of surprise, because if you can sense a jump scare coming, it's not going to be that bad. But if it's just out of nowhere and you don't expect it, that's how you get the good horror movie factor. It's always the unexpected, suspense, everything. That's everything. I had no idea what to expect, but it delivered everything you could ever imagine. It was awesome.
Psychological horror is a subgenre of horror and psychological fiction with a particular focus on mental, emotional, and psychological states to frighten, disturb, or unsettle its audience. The subgenre frequently overlaps with a related subgenre of psychological thriller and often uses mystery elements and characters with unstable, unrelatable, or disturbed psychological states to enhance the suspense, drama, action, and paranormal of the setting and plot, and to provide an overall unpleasant, unsettling, or distressing atmosphere.
My number one when it comes to giving recommendations is Gerald's. I think it's Gerald's Game or Gerald's Game, something like that. And it's one of those movies that definitely grabs you from the beginning and hooks you until the end. And the twist, it's one of those movies that you just wouldn't expect. When I went into the movie, I actually didn't have any expectations for it. I didn't have any idea as to what it was about. The little summary of the movie seemed kind of interesting, and then it blew my expectations out of the water. They're long gone. That movie, like I said, it's still one of my number one most recommended movies when anyone asks for a horror movie. So again, in horror movies, what tends to scare me the most is, like I said, the psychological side of it, if it does really keep you on the edge. But with Gerald's Game, it scared me the most when you actually realized what was happening, and you realized that the likeliness of her getting out was slim to none. That was very intense, very realistic. I think I would, because I don't think I would put myself in a situation similar to that one at all.
Slasher films is a genre of horror films involving a killer stalking and murdering a group of people, usually by use of bladed tools, although the term slasher may occasionally be used as a generic term for any horror film involving murder. Film analysis cite an established set of characteristics which set slasher films apart from other horror subgenres, such as splatter films and psychological horror films.
Halloween, the first one. And because it's just like a classic. You know, it's the fear of him walking real fast coming. The new ones aren't like that, but that old one, the first one, that put fear in my heart. What scares me most is just how he pops out of nowhere with all the victims, randomly, hiding behind bushes. I would survive Halloween 1 on October 31st. I'm not finna be in the city this man is coming to terrorize. I would be gone. I'm not gonna stay there. I'm not gonna chat. I'm not gonna look around. If the community is in fear, I'm gone. So I definitely would be surviving. Queen delivered to the T. I am still afraid of Michael Myers. Every time I hear that theme song, I just get scared. So yeah, they got their point across.
Yes, movies based on true stories I love them. They are so enticing to me. That's why I like the Conjuring movies. That whole series is one of my top, up in my top 10. Same with the Annabelle movies. If it says based on a true story, I automatically take it at face value and I'm here for it.
I do like based on true stories, but I don't like the demonized true story ones. Like I can watch the ones where, the killing happened in a family or something like that. That's interesting. But whenever it's like The Omen and stuff like that, I don't like those.
No. No. If it's based on a true story, I will have nightmares about it for weeks. So, no.
I do not like watching horror movies, so on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give it a 0. I only watch scary movies because my parents make me, or my son wants to watch them. Other than that, I can't do the fear. I don't like it.
I'd probably put it at like a 7.5 to an 8. They're my favorite genre of movie. I'm more willing to watch a horror movie than I am any other kind of genre.
On a scale of 1 to 10, this is going to be a really bad rating. Probably a 4 because they're not my preference. But they are fun to watch with your friends. So I'll give them, I'll give it a 5. I'll take it or leave it. They're pretty good.